All right, so on to the movie of the week. And this week we have La Piscine, aka the swimming pool. It's, what is there to say about this one? It's a French movie from a long time ago, back in the late 1960s. Beautiful scenery, style, has all of the hallmarks visually of something that should be good. Then just focuses on a rather dull story. I did like the movie to some extent. I'm not saying I didn't. The acting was good. The underlying tensions between the characters. A man's triumph of will. Excuse the phrasing. I understand there's another film with the same title, but I'm talking about the story. Some guy, he fronts on you because your girlfriend is his ex-girlfriend, so you stun on his ass by sleeping with his 18-year-old daughter. And I guess it still is a triumph of will, because not only does Jean-Paul do that, he also murders Harry, sends his daughter off after his girlfriend tells her that he wasn't responsible for the murder, and then still ends up with Marianne at the end, despite having confessed a murder to her. He murders her ex-boyfriend and gets away with it scot-free, and even the detective cannot prove it, even though he knows Jean-Paul was the one who did it. So, all around, it's a win for Delon's character. Though, a lot of this movie just felt like a disconnection between Jean-Paul and Marianne. They're isolated by themselves at this beautiful house away from the city. They're disconnected from their regular life, anything that's going on beyond the property and down in Saint-Tropez itself, which is a crime. I would have liked more of a time capsule, seen much more of the surrounding area rather than just spending 90-something% of the time of the film at the house itself. So Delon's character, he's an alcoholic. Jean-Paul, he's a failed writer. We don't know how he failed, but either failed to produce something or produce shit. And now he has some marketing job, some vague marketing job he doesn't care about. Hey, I've been there, pal. Isolation while having these wealthy friends and connections to be able to live this sort of lifestyle. They're both not happy and disconnected despite the fact they're at this beautiful house, a summer home. I hate people like this. Just enjoy that. But you can't. And Harry is a character. Harry used to date Marianne, and he's sort of their connection to the outside world. Supplying the party, supplying friends, connections, and the relationship itself between Jean-Paul and Marianne happened because they both knew Harry. So he shows up with his previously unknown daughter Penelope in tow, who's 18. She's played by Jane Birkin, and I have to say, not to offend, but the character seems somewhat retarded for the first half of the movie, until she kind of turns it on at the end, tells Jean-Paul about how Harry hates him. In actuality, Harry's not Jean-Paul's friend, and then she seduces Jean-Paul, which sets in motion the murder. Even with all that supposed detail, the movie is drawn out, somewhat boring. Everything's subtle, which builds the tension. Good acting, but not much there. At the end, I was like, what's compelling here? Other than the scenery and visuals. Again, the actors did a lot with very little. And the story is completely whatever. I don't care about any of the characters. I get the same feeling like when I saw Richard Gere in the remake of another French movie, Breathless. Now, I never saw the original to that one, but the Gere version also felt like a movie that had elements to be great, just ultimately kind of meh. Starts out fine. He's a hustler. He's in Las Vegas at the start. He's chatting up women. He steals a car, murders a cop. I'm like, okay, let's see where this one's going. And then he's in hiding the rest of the way, being chased by the police, but he's also in love with this hot French college student at UCLA. We had a fling with in Las Vegas, and that's why he's going to Los Angeles. And she's hot as hell. Bad actress. but to be fair, a bad character. And she has no chemistry with Richard Gere. And the entire film, she just says things like, Jesse, you're crazy. Jesse, when we have the baby, what will we do? Jesse, are we going to Mexico? That's her character. But I will give her credit. She's hot. That goes a long way with me. So she gets bonus points for that. Again, she lives in LA. He goes to see her and she doesn't know he's coming. He breaks into her apartment, stalks her and shit. And she's only mildly annoyed by all this. For some reason, she just goes along with it. They're apparently in love, despite the fact she doesn't seem to like him at all. They have no chemistry. But she's also banging her architecture professor. Because at UCLA, she's a star pupil of his. And in order to meet some other important people and get some jobs, you gotta spread those legs, chica. And Jesse, he just wants to run away to Mexico to do God knows what. You know, she's pregnant somehow already. I'm not sure of the timeline of the movie, but it seems like they just had a fling a week ago when she already knows she's pregnant. Then they want to go to Mexico. He's on the run like Charles Manson, who also spent time in that country as a criminal before coming back. Like, the movie has elements of being cool, but it turns out to be pretty boring. This and the swimming pool could have had stories which really allow you to explore the time and place. Again, a time capsule. You know, you get the scenery, some interesting characters, but instead they narrow your focus on less interesting things and don't really explore much of anything. I think this one uses the scenery of LA better than La Piscine uses Saint-Tropez. Though the house and the pool overlooking the town in that one, spectacular. I would love to have a house like that, to rent one for the summer. I'd be happy with it, but it seemed like all of this could have been fleshed out more story-wise. Give me more than the pool. And Breathless is basically this over-the-top character who's annoying as shit and acts like a moron. I was glad he got shut up at the end. That being said, Richard Gere, good as that jackass character. And while we're on the pool, I don't like how in La Piscine they try to make it into the bad guy. Some foreboding villain. Symbolism when it's just a beautiful pool in a lovely setting. And why can't you people enjoy this? I know it's a movie and things have to happen, but really nothing. Okay, some guy got murdered, but really nothing of import happened. He didn't have to get murdered. You didn't learn any lessons. You could have just been happy with Marianne, taking his jibes, still banged his daughter. In fact, Marianne was probably okay. She knew you were gonna try to smash as soon as you met her. Why couldn't you just enjoy the pool? That's my biggest beef with the film. Just enjoy the south of France. You know, it's far away from me. I can just get up and leave, but I can't rent a house like that. The scenery, it reminds me of more low budget vacations or low budget experience I had staying in Palm Springs at the Best Western. Like the film, it was hot as hell. Nothing but heat. In the middle of August, I was there for some reason. I was surrounded by drunk British people, Italians, some women of dubious origin. I don't know where they were from. But for some reason, these people flew overseas to be in Palm Springs in August. For some reason, I was there. Again, 115 degrees. Why? And the visuals also bring to mind the Mad Men episode, Jet Set, where Don is supposed to be at a conference pitching his services, talking business with potential clients for the defense industry. Instead, Don does what Don do. He meets a college-age girl, her random rich European friends and father, and goes to Palm Springs with them. He tells Pete at the beginning that there won't be any pool time at the hotel because Pete wants to go swimming. He showed up a day early to get in the pool, and Don's like, Pete, stop being a little bitch. We're here to do business. And then he watches some defense company presentation about nukes and rockets and missiles, gets scared, and just bails to bang some girl at a random house with a pool. Doing the Don thing of, I'm a man of mystery. I could just shirk my responsibility. If I need to bust, I'll do so. That's what you don't understand about me, Pete. The synergy of it all, the pool, La Piscine, Palm Springs, Don passes out in Palm Springs. Then there's the synergy of that because he doesn't make it to the pool when he passes out. In a later episode, he's on LSD. He passes out and goes into the pool and almost drowns if Roger doesn't save him. I'm passing out all the time. I keep falling under the weight of getting too much pussy. And yeah, that's all I got. Unless you want me to keep talking about Mad Men, which I could probably do for an hour. But my throat hurts.